All right. I think everything's working. God, it's been a while since I've done this. I guess it's supposed to be like riding a bike. You're trying to remember everything you're supposed to be doing. But yeah, let's make sure everything's working here. Oh, sound setting looks good. And looks like we are good on YouTube. Okay, we're good on YouTube. Make sure we're good on Twitch. I'm not setting up on Kick tonight. I don't have the energy for that. I don't think I have the energy for that. It's been a long few weeks, guys. So, yeah, okay. I think we're set up here, so we'll go ahead and start. Well, welcome. I originally wasn't planning on doing a stream today. Wasn't actually planning on doing a stream for probably till next week because I'm still trying to get through everything. And then I realized, oh crap, I need to do a video or stream or something because I was sick July 3rd. Last time I streamed. So it's been about a month. I was like, oh crap. So this stream is more because I have to have within so many days, I have to keep monetization and everything, I have to stream. I forgot all about that. I was just laying in bed, watching Pink Panther, and it's like, oh crap, I do need to do that. And it also gives me time to practice sitting up because it's been incredibly hard. I think I can sit up in my chair about 2-3 hours at a time before I get really tired. So most people know that I had cancer surgery, and they took a portion of my kidney out. So let's just say there's quite a few incisions, way more than they anticipated, deeper. So end up sleeping a lot. And good news is they believe they got everything out of the kidney. I go in this week to find out if there's anything else or if it's one and done. I mean, I'm going to have to go in for a cancer test now every so many months. So, you do what you can to survive. I'm working on the assets to try to see what we got going, because I'm wanting to kind of swing things up a little bit on Kai Dragon Media and also Kai Dragon Garden Cooking. That's kind of, I got to get stronger before I can do that, because I'm on weight restrictions, everything. The adventure at the hospital is one hell of a tale. I'm still floored just how things even ended up the way they did. And I'll have to share that because that was absolutely batshit insane. Yeah, I'm supposed to go back to work tomorrow, working from home. Don't know if it's going to happen. I really don't know. I'm waiting for the doctor paperwork, so I have no idea what next week's going to bring. So I was planning on just resting, relaxing a little bit still before I really got too deeply involved. No, there's not going to be any gameplay tonight. No U4 or Power World or anything like that. Just kind of be me talking and kind of reflecting and kind of letting you know the interesting story that I kind of went through at the hospital, which was absolutely batshit insane. So 17th, I had my surgery. It was pretty damn scary. And it's like time travel. I woke up hours later in pain, couldn't talk, and it felt like I just got smashed into a brick wall. That was probably the hardest thing I've had to do in my life. And so I was pretty weak. Problem is I didn't do too well with, I guess, anesthesia or something. I don't know. They were getting ready to put me in critical care because I was not responding well. And got to thank the nurse that the two nurses that night that helped me pull through. And hey, Snorlax, I'm recovering. I need to get my multiple chats on this side. I still got to refix all my Streamlabs and everything. Everything's a mess since I've been gone. And so yeah, I couldn't eat anything. I was really in bad shape. And let's just say it was awful. I didn't know a person could get sick to their stomach as much as you could on a completely empty stomach. Turns out nurse said it was my reaction to anesthesia, so that kind of kicked my butt. And both the nurses, I submitted recognition because they were really great. They helped me out, and I felt bad that I was making such a mess, but what can you do? I couldn't really move. I couldn't really do anything. It was indescribable. It felt like I just got crushed into a wall. And so I recovered, got my oxygen back up, was doing fluids. Following day, same nurses really helped me out. I started walking, was able to do everything I needed to just fine. I was functioning. Even Friday night, got to eat solid food, was doing really well. And then Saturday rolled in, and that was when everything went to hell. Friday night, I had this hospital doctor says, "Oh yeah, you're doing great now. We're gonna release you, I think, on Saturday." And I'm like, my surgical team. So here's one thing that I ran into at the hospital. My surgical team, the ones that are proceeding over my care and doing everything, apparently them in the hospital do not talk. They just like put this wall up, and they're all doing different orders and trying to defy things. And it was an absolute pain in the butt. And Snorlax says, yeah, anesthesia and bodies sometimes don't go along, especially anesthesia if you use on some states. From people I know from over there have and they had used a lot more on me because they had to do 6 incisions to actually are way deeper to cut the cancer part of the kidney. That was bad. So his doctors wanted to discharge me on Saturday, and I just started walking. I'm still in pain, still on IV, all this crap. Saturday rolls around. I want to walk, and the first thing in the morning I'm greeted to is a nurse that tells me, "Oh, suck up the pain, whatever," and never really see her again. And she doesn't want to take me for walks because I have machines I'm attached to, so they have to kind of move me around, and the biggest thing is you have to walk. The biggest thing, you have to move. So I end up sitting upright in my chair. My mom stayed with me the entire time, except for a few times she had to go home to change clothes and take a shower and take a nap and everything. That's when everything always constantly went to hell, is when she was gone. Honestly, my mom was the nurse. at that point. I didn't really have very good care. And so none of the nurses really bothered coming around Saturday. And I thought and I can't get up on my own. I'm a fall risk at that point still. I'm still not quite strong. And one point they left me, which I thank God didn't have an accident, but I thought I had an accident. I basically laid there for 2 hours thinking it was in an accident, and they ignored me. And one of them said they really didn't want to come in and help some quote unquote fat geriatric. That's what they responded to me as. And I was not happy being ridiculed. And for my size, I have been losing a lot of weight and continuing to lose weight. And I was pretty damn appalled by it. I was mad. And mom shows back up. I guess I should rewind on one more thing. And then Saturday, that same doctor came in and said, "Oh yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and release you." And I looked at that doctor and says, "First of all, my blood pressure is still not under control. I'm still under pain. I've only walked a couple times. I'm still pretty damn weak." I said, "You're just discharging me when my surgical team, the one that did everything, wants me in here till Monday?" No disrespect, I don't want to be here any more than anybody else, but I'm supposed to be here because, it's not fair to somebody that's my mom, who's 68 years old, having to try to help me get up and everything when, the anesthesia wrecked me. And I still had remnants of it in me. And also dealing with all the incisions and everything. And the guy's like, "Well," and then he says some off topic crap. "Well, does she take pills?" I said, "Yeah, she does. So what?" "Well, then she can take care of you." And I said, "What the hell does that have anything to do with my health?" And this guy was just some complete goofball. I was just like, what the hell is going on here? So mom gets back. I told her that, yeah, the doctor here at the hospital wants to know if you take your own pills. And she goes, "What the hell is that going to do?" I says, "Beats the hell out of me." And then I said, "Oh yeah, by the way, can you just help me upright and help me, since I'm still hooked to the IV, to go to the restroom? I've been sitting here for over 2 hours. I called and they have just pretty much been ignoring me." And so, she helped me rest the day. Saturday night, we found out why my respiratory was down low. I had a massive something from anesthesia, had broken the back of my nose, and had to get it all out. And that was my discovery on that. Sunday rolls around. The respiratory had already came down between Saturday and Sunday, get me set up again. They lowered my oxygen, but also just to help me sleep a little bit more. And nurses really didn't show up to do anything. I started getting an infection again, or a bad reaction or something, so they had to put me back on IV late Saturday night. That's the only time I really ever saw the nurses. Nobody really came in to assist. My mom just stuck around, helped me where I could. And that was pretty much it. I was pretty much been. Now, my urology doctors kept coming in every day, checking up on me, telling me what they wanted me to do, if they wanted me to stay for observation stuff. And, I stayed. Basically based on what they told me, what they wanted me to do. They're the ones that did the surgery. They're the ones that they're seeing me after. They're the ones that know what's in my interest. And so Sunday, pretty much same old, just pretty much ignored. Mom's the one that helped me sit up, move around. I just needed to get up and walk, but I wanted to make sure, because if I fall, I'm screwed. That's all there was to it. Sunday night I got put back on IV though, because I started having a really bad fever and reacting badly. And then Monday, and I'm going to Cliff Notes version because, I'm trying to be safe on YouTube, because this isn't medical or anything. This is just my experience at a really crappy hospital. Monday rolls around. This new lady just comes in, and I swear I thought she was certifiable. She's like, well, you need to get up. We're discharging you today. And then she looked at my respirator, says, well, this is a waste of money. And she says, this needs to get turned off. I don't know why they did that. And she said, well, you should have been moving. And I don't even know who this woman. And I said, been working on it without anybody's help here at the hospital. And she was just, and when every time my mom said something, who was my power of medical, she just looked at mom and says, would you shut up? I'm not talking to you. Oh yeah, she started right at the beginning at 7 a.m, picking a fight with everybody in the room. It's like this woman was on a crusade. I don't know what was up her ass, but it was insane. I looked at mom and says, oh, yeah, today's going to be the day. Physical therapist came in who was supposed to have been there Friday and said, yeah, they put the order late in. We didn't get it. So I walked with him and he says, yeah, you're doing good. I said, yeah. I said, mostly me and my mom. I said, nurses around here really haven't really helped her do much anything. And he goes, yeah, that's part of the problem with the hospitals nowadays. They've gotten worse. He goes, but you keep doing what you're doing. You'll get the anesthesia out of you and all that. I said, okay, cool. Okay, that's good to know. My primary doctor came in, talked to me and said, yeah, if you feel like you're ready to go, we'll let you go today and we'll have further instructions. Hell yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get the hell out of here. So I got their instructions, everything I needed to do. And so here comes the crazy nurse again. She's like, well, most people that have your surgery, they're out jogging and running around by the second day. I don't know what your problem is. And I'm like, wait a minute here. I just had massive surgery. You have no idea how I work, and you're trying to tell. She's acting like everybody just runs circles and all this, and I'm like, no. And okay, sorry, I'm live on camera, guys, so give me a second. Mom came in and gave me something. And then I'll continue the story. It's, like I said, it's pretty wild. Okay, so Starlock says, oh man, you pay insanely price for metal care tree like crap. Here are things are falling apart and all, but at least medics are more human tree. The best can be strong recovery cancers a feed on the one. What an adventure you have there. Yeah. Let's just say I'm going to be paying a heavy price even with insurance. I'm going to be paying a heavy price for all this. And the hospital had inappropriate healthcare. So it gets better that day. So mom says something to her and she tells my mom to shut up again when it was a question. I'm just like, what the hell is going on? What is wrong with this person? It's crazy at this point because I'm just like, why is a nurse talking down to my caregiver? Number one, why is this nurse talking trash on me for being sick and being the one that just had cancer surgery? And so she comes back in there and she has discharge papers. By the way, my blood pressure was not cleared. My blood pressure was still not under control. And let me just say, Snore, that's not off the table yet. I'm waiting to see what they do with my bill before I've already put in a nasty survey that gave a full detail of everything. So, because they want to know how they did. And I plan on also writing a Google review of full detail of everything on there. And I've also we've got a lot of documentation. As my mom took a lot of photos, took a lot of pictures, and wrote down a lot of stuff that was going on over the weekend. It was like I went from AAA nurses on Thursday and Friday to complete bottom of the garbage bin. Where the hell did you get your license at in a Cracker Jack box kind of situation? So here comes that psycho nurse again. She goes, well, we're not going to fill in an FMLA paperwork. We're not going to do anything. We're actually releasing you. Because in fact, today you should be working. You should be at your, wherever you are, and working immediately. And I looked at my mom and I said, technically I was told something different. Usually with my kind of surgery, you have low energy levels because your body's adapting to the fact that you lost part of your kidney. Per my, my doctors. What do I know? I'm not the physician here. I'm listening to my doctors, the ones that took care of me. And she goes, well, that's not how it works. Okay. So she's better than a doctor. She knows all and sees all, I guess, apparently. And I said, well, good thing I'm not going through you on all this stuff. She goes, well, I need you to fill out the discharge paperwork, sir. So she passes me the paperwork, and it's completely wrong. And I pointed out, says, this is not correct. Your documentation here says it's observation. It wasn't just observation. I was told that I was going to be here 3 or 4 days. You basically mischecked the box incorrectly on my stay at the hospital. She goes, oh, well, that don't matter. We got documentation and insurance will cover it all anyway. I says, but it's not correct. She goes, well, I don't care. You just need to sign it so you can get out of here. So I said, fine, I'll sign it under duress. And I stated clearly that this was duress at that point, because this woman was completely nuts. I don't know how she has a job in nursing, but I've never met anybody like this. This woman was nuts. And so I just said, okay, I'm signing under duress, and notated it, signed it under duress, and got a copy of it. And I guess hospitals were supposed to wheelchair you out. This woman was psychotic enough. I looked at my mom and said, I'm out of here. Let's get the hell out of here. This is insane. So I picked up my potted plant I got from one of my relatives, and mom grabbed the bags, and we walked right out and set out on the front till my dad came and got us. Didn't get the wheelchair experience or anything that they're supposed to, and I guess by law they were supposed to do it. Well, when you have somebody that crazy, she probably would have threw me out the window or threw me down the stairs, or who the hell knows with the wheelchair. So, and that's the Cliff Notes version. That's more the PG version of all this. It was insane. Would I recommend, would I recommend this place for anything? Hell no. I wouldn't recommend it to my worst enemy. It was insane. I couldn't believe the absurdity of what was going on. I was like, is this for real, or has healthcare went completely to shit? That was my whole thing. I was like, this was not professional one damn bit. So I called my doctor's office on the way home from the hospital and told them what was going on. It says, no, we'll cover everything. We'll cover the doctor's note and everything. She goes, I told you you're going to be tired and very sick and you're not going to want to have energy to do a lot, which she was 100% right. All last week, all I wanted to do was sleep half the time. I'd get up, try to sit in the chair. I'd try to walk for a little bit. And then I was back asleep. So yeah, recovery's been kind of weird when it comes to that. Not really sure how I feel about the whole thing, but it was a trip and a half, guys. And so then I'm waiting for paperwork. They said, okay, you can go back to, we'll let you work from home next week. And, but then now the paperwork says, oh, well, we'll have to fax it within like 5 to 10 business days. So I don't even know if I'm going back to work tomorrow. I have no freaking clue. At least I had some special work restrictions that I could work for a little bit, sleep a couple hours, come back to work because I'm salary. It shouldn't really matter. I'm still going to get my job done. It just takes a little longer because I'm not quite capable of sitting in a chair still for 4 to 8 hours without getting extremely tired. I mean, I'm struggling on that. And so we'll find out also Wednesday if I have radiology or anything else, or if they got the cancer. And they see, last I knew it hadn't metastasized, so I should be okay there. But I've got 5 years of being monitored with this now going forward. But holy hell, that hospital, I hope I never have to have another surgery, because unfortunately they wanted that hospital because it has what they call some Da Vinci. It's all robots, so it's precise incisions, all this stuff with a laser or whatever. So it's like, I get why they wanted it, but holy crap, the level of healthcare was like insane. And you're right, Snore, no matter the bill, just sue the crap. Problem is that attorneys cost a lot of money, and I don't really want to go down that route yet. If I can just get through it, attorneys just aren't cheap in the US at all. As much as I want to, as much as I really, really want to with my experience, or at least get the word out enough that, well, maybe the hospital will have to make changes or get into some governmental regulation issues for the way they treat patients, because yeah, it's not good one way or another. And yeah, so that's kind of the story in a nutshell with the PG version of the hospital experience. Yeah, that's so. Yeah, as far as recovery, now I've got to just get stronger every day so I can get back to doing what I love with content creation. I wish I had videos on that. I didn't even think about that, to be honest. That half the time I was out of it because I was on morphine and stuff, and should have had mom recorded. But a lot of the times the stuff happened after the fact. So yeah, there's not much you can do about it, you know. But apparently they are known as one of the worst hospitals in town. I guess their care is not the greatest. Yeah, I'm doing what I can, brother. I'm doing what I can. And as far as my content, like I said, I had to stream tonight on YouTube so I didn't lose monetization and all that stuff, because it's been about a month, because I had the flu or sinus infection or something 2 weeks before surgery, July 3rd. So my July 4th plans, all that I plan on streaming just went to hell. So I have not streamed. I've barely done anything in July. But I had to do, I was just, like I said, I was thinking about this, and I noticed that there's been a lot of changes out there. What my goal is, what my goal would be is, I still want to go ahead and do games and entertain through games like Europa Universalis for Pal World, Project Zomboid, and also have videos posted on YouTube. Trying to get myself to where I'll also be back to doing news again. I don't think I want to do anything like, say, the quarter or anything where I do 5 videos a day doing news, but I do want to talk about some news that is near and dear with games and gaming, just kind of the fate of things. And I'd like to get into reviews more. I have a bunch of stuff wrote out. I have just not had the time to put that to video, and probably try to start eating more healthy and no more tacos, fast food. Brother, I don't do fast food hardly. I'm not a big fan of fast food. I've already lost over 40 pounds. Like all this week we've ate at home. But, it's a goal. I mean, the biggest challenge is the cost of groceries, especially eating healthy. Like I said, I've lost over 40 and doing really, really well when it comes to that. So I'd like to continue to lose weight. My goal is still for the rest of the year is probably another 50. If I can do 100, that'd be great. We'll see. Especially with me, with the garden. I do a lot of gardening, and so I'm out there working. Hopefully we'll start getting some more fresh produce. Garden kind of took a dive in July because I was out and Mom couldn't do it all. So I've got to get that going. So there'll be more gardening stuff too on the gardening channel that I have. I just got to refocus on everything. August is basically planning to be my catch-up month for a lot of stuff that I've missed, a lot of stuff that I couldn't get done. And I'm bringing back my talk show on stream. I do plan on doing that. I'm also thinking about how I'm going to segment it, especially because YouTube's changed how everything's promoted now. I guess I was reading about this on my phone, but I guess it's not viewer based now. It's based on interactions, people hitting the like button, leaving comments and stuff. I was like, really? So I don't know if views are really going to count much anymore. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what all I've missed there. And then I've been following kind of the crazy news, and I'll have to probably do some videos talking about it at some point. The payment processors, I guess Visa and MasterCard have went rogue or something, where they're banning the ability to buy certain anime, mangas, video games. I guess Steam had to change their policy or something because of Visa and MasterCard just a few days ago, where you can't buy adult games on Steam. And try to go for Animo main page and sing for the next test alpha. Well, I plan on doing a karaoke if I hit 100,000 subs on YouTube, which probably will be crazy if I do, because it's been a while since I've sang or done anything. Also, still plan on going VTuber at some point. Part VTube, part normal, because and cosplay once I continue to lose weight. Animo is a monster collector game. Interesting. Must be a new craze that I haven't heard about. And then, so I heard about that. I heard about VShojo collapsing, like literally overnight. That was not on my 2025 bingo list. I'll have to check that out and look up more. I'm gonna see if it's up my alley. Snore. I am glad you suggested that. Yeah, that was wild. Something about they had $11 million in investments and everything, and it vanished, and they didn't realize they got like $500,000 of money that was meant for charity, but they spent it or some crap. I was like, wow. And then what was the other one that I saw that was the highlight? I can just look it up. That's not a big deal. In fact, we can just look it up real fast. I'm just looking this up real fast. Looks like another Power World game type game. Interesting. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Looks like there's a pre-registration on it. It's different. Yeah, I'm looking at it. This is very interesting. I definitely did like Power World, so I've checked this one out. There's pre-registration. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna have to bookmark that and do some pre-registration on that. That would come in handy. It's more like Genshin Impact mixed with Monster Collection. Huh. And hey, Safika, how are you doing? Long time no chat. I should just call that pre-registration. Long time no see, my friend. It's an MMO free to play. Monetization's only in cosmetics. Okay, yeah, I'll have to look into that further on that. I haven't really done much of Genshin or any of that. I'm mostly just more of a strategy and survival, which I gotta check out Zomboid again at some point. There's a lot of stuff I need to get done. Just gotta try to get through that. He started also covered more news. Well, you know, it's always good to try to do positive changes in your life. You know, any positive change is always a good change. I'm having to go through it myself. And let's see. I want to check out anything else. But yes, I did bookmark that. I'll definitely have to give that a look. Yeah, there's a lot of things I'd love to talk about, but I know right now body just doesn't have the energy still from the surgery. Hell, even just sitting here, is wearing me out, which sucks. I don't have the energy I used to right now. But what my nurse told me is, since they did take a portion of my kidney out, bodies went through a trauma. I'm having to basically start from nothing again. And it's trying to adjust to everything. And so, not to mention all the deep wounds that I have from the incisions. So I guess that's part of the reason why I spend more time sleeping. Sitting upright, it doesn't hurt anymore like it did, but I can tell that I'm not used to it anymore. Yeah, there's a couple other things I wanted to look at and check out. So this week, I don't know what days I'll stream, when I'll stream. That's all kind of to be determined. More than likely, if I stream anything, it's just going to be a Friday and Saturday and Sunday next week in the evening. I playing it by ear, and I'm also doing it to where I can have longer breaks in between streams. So if I do 2 streams on Saturday, normally I would do 5-6 hour streams. I may do an hour stream or hour and a half stream Saturday afternoon when it's 100 degrees outside, to, maybe talk about news, talk about some fun stuff. Maybe talk about, pretty much talk about whatever. And then I'll come back later that evening for probably like Zomboid or something, or Pal World, because we still got to finish up Pal World. And yeah, you're 100% right on that, Snore. With part of the kidney, you need to be careful for bad stuff on your body, because the filter of all toxins crap. Yeah. At least how I was explained it by my doctor is they took out the part that was no longer functioning. That's why I'm not on what they call a renal diet or something. I don't know. Like I said, not a medical expert. I'm just going by what my doctors told me, what I'm dealing with it. So yeah, if you're going through kidney cancer or kidney surgery, then talk to your doctors. Don't consult YouTube. I'm not an expert, nor do I tend to be. Just talking about my experience, and I have to do as a disclosure, because YouTube sometimes cracks down on stuff, and I'm just talking about my experience and talking about what I've been told. But looks like there's a lot of stuff that I have definitely missed. Maybe later this week I'll plan on trying to go through it as much as I can. Yeah. Do I have anything else to talk about tonight? I talked about the hospital experience. Yeah, just I wanted to get some more assets and some more setups done on my Streamlabs. That was part of my big change on things. And I'm renovating behind me, so that's why I still have a background. There's some things that I want to do a little different. And like I said, I want to bring back my talk show. I've got a really good interview coming up with a fantastic VTuber now that I'm getting better. Hopefully maybe next week I can schedule to interview her and then publish that. We'll have more talk shows. We'll have a lot more gaming stuff. Just it'll probably be in smaller segments than 4 to 6 hours, just because I'm going to need more breaks, and also probably be going to the gym a lot more, just to try to rebalance everything a little bit. Plus, I still also got a garden to salvage from July. So early in the morning or evening right now, because it's 100 plus outside. So you really can't work out there during this kind of weather without it really impacting you. Well, that I'm on restrictions right now, so I still can't lift anything. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. So plan on me coming back Friday night. I can't tell you a time just because I don't know how work's going to be. I don't know what's anything's going to be right now, but it probably about 8 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 Eastern. I should be back Friday, and we'll figure out what we're doing. We may do a little bit of news, talk about the news, and then switch over to some games and just chill out. I want to figure out how to integrate the chat over, and so far Streamlabs does not seem to be puking on itself today with me dual streaming, so maybe that's all been resolved. Hopefully it has. I mean, I haven't seen anything that shows it. And I appreciate the support, Snorchlax. And yeah, I am going to keep strong. I mean, this has been one of the hardest things that I've had to do in my life and get through. I'm just glad I'm over the surgery. Anyway, thanks for hearing me out tonight, guys. Like I said, short stream. I don't have a lot more to talk about. If you missed anything, definitely check out the earlier my stream on YouTube. It does have the replay talking about some of the hospital experience. It was just pretty crazy. Only OBS works with chat integration. I'll have to tinker with that. Yeah, I don't. Streamlabs is kind of a pain in the ass. But I do it because I multi-stream, because I'm trying to get to where I stream regularly on YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. So just YouTube, and also, well, then I just did Twitch. So want to kind of get through there and go from there. Hey, at least I got my voice back. I hadn't had my voice 2 weeks up until surgery, so that was a nightmare. Anyway, guys, thank you all for hanging out. God bless, and I will hopefully see y'all Friday. Good night.